Welcome to RMSO Bigfoot Roundtable Drive. We're in one of our favorite places, going in to service some cameras. We tried getting in here 2 weeks ago, and believe it or not, the snow was too deep up here. The road you're looking at right now, there was snow drifts over 4 feet tall across the road, just blocking access to normal trucks or vehicles. So this is our first time since before winter being able to get in here with the vehicle. And this place is called Monte Cristo. It's in the beautiful state of Utah.
All the flowers are out.
Yeah, there are.
Down in the valley where we are, they're already done and over with.
Yeah, flower season started almost 2 months ago down in the valley, and it's just starting up here. We're over 9,000 feet in elevation, so
It's nice and cool up here too.
spring doesn't come until summertime here.
How hot was it today down where we live?
Oh, it was a really nice day. Stayed under 85 today.
Yeah, but it's 60 degrees up here.
Yeah, it's 59 it says.
Way nicer up here.
Yeah, this is where Jenny and I sometimes come in the summertime to beat the heat. But we also come here because there's over a dozen Bigfoot sightings on this mountain or around this mountain, and 7 of the people Jenny and I know personally were related to some of them. Some of them are friends.
They've seen it.
And the latest one is a guy that was is part of our Facebook Bigfoot group. He got a hold of me last year telling me about a sighting he had up here a few years ago. It was he and his girlfriend at the time. Dirt roads sometimes like a bucking bronco. We have 3 game cameras we're trying to make it back to. This is our 3rd attempt of the year. First attempt was 5 weeks ago, the second attempt 2 weeks ago, and we've got past what we think is usually the worst parts already. We saw a little bit of snow on the top, but nothing to stop us. So hopefully we can get to these cameras. These cameras have been back here since the end of September. So if we catch anything interesting, we'll include whatever we capture on those at the end of this video. By the way, the last sighting that come out of here that was reported to me on my Facebook group, it was a roadside sighting. They saw it off the side of this road when they were driving back here several years ago. So obviously, that's why we like to have a camera going. Nice up here.
There's a lot of animals up here. There's deer. There's lots of deer up here. There's an elk herd. There's
We see moose all the time.
There's moose, coyotes.
Jenny and I saw a wolf up here one time.
Wolf, and lots of bears.
Lots of badgers.
Mountain lions. I've even seen a porcupine.
Coyotes. Foxes. What was it? Did you say that you saw?
Today we saw the little porcupine waddling around.
Oh yeah. I've also saw a dog that got smacked in the face by a porcupine up here. That was sad.
Yeah, I've had a couple of dogs get hit with porcupine. It ain't fun getting those out either.
Yeah, the dog had a big old beard and mustache.
So
He looked so sad. He was one of those big Pyrenees type sheep hunting dogs. I'm not sheep hunting, but shepherd's dogs that stay with the herd. He's probably trying to defend his sheep and got clinked. Yeah, you've had to pull them out of your dogs, huh?
Yeah.
I've been lucky. I haven't ever owned a dog that's got nailed. I know your dog did. Mike's dog has. Wow. Alright, we're on the section where the latest report to me came in.
Did it just cross the road?
No, it was standing off the side by the tree line.
Creepy. There's a woodpecker.
I posted his Bigfoot sighting, I believe, on our blog, so I've got it out there. I'll have to go read it again, but yeah. You saw it right there, that clearing off to the right there, Jenny, that we just passed. I have the spotlights laid out in the back seat because Jenny and I are going to need them after we hike into these cameras. It'll be dark by the time we get back into the car and head out. Somebody is camped in our favorite spot.
This is where you get a lot of bear activity on top right here.
Yep, we've had bear activity here.
people who don't live in a snowy state, all these orange poles that you see sticking up are for snowmobilers in the winter.
Yep. Help you find the road so that you can find your way out of here. Yeah, if you had to walk out of here without a road, it would be so hard to keep your bearings in this thick forest.
Squirrel.
Just have to find a creek and follow the creek out. Woodpecker.
Animals in this area don't have to go down and try to find water because there are springs all over up here.
Yep, if you want to stay on top all year round, there's water. Maybe frozen water in the winter time though. I know people aren't supposed to eat snow to stay hydrated. They say that your body has to work harder at processing it than it does you any good, so you're supposed to melt the snow then drink it. But I'm sure animals probably have no problem eating snow for water.
Off to our left, somebody saw a Bigfoot last year.
That's right.
At this time of year, within a week of today.
Yep, it's an anniversary.
Yep. There's lots of sightings up here.
Yep, it's almost July 4th, and the person that saw it late in the night on July 4th. That may have been the AM of July 5th. It's probably safe to say it was actually July 5th that he saw it, but it was the night after they watched fireworks clear down in the valley, a couple hours drive.
There's a little bit of snow.
And they come up and started a fire, and the first flames of the fire, one of them saw it, watching them, and then that's when it took off. One person saw it, the rest of them heard it run after he saw it. They got their fire going, and I don't know how he started the fire, but
it just went whoosh.
Into big flames at first. Probably put lighter fluid on it, but anyway, that caused the sighting. It's sitting there watching them in the dark, and then one of them saw it and yelled out, pointing at it, and it took off running, and all of them heard it run 180 degrees around the camp and take off. What's kind of weird to me about that one is most animals that you spook run away from you. This one could have just ran away the opposite direction, but it ran completely around their camp and left the same direction it was faced on the other side of them. So interesting Bigfoot sighting up here only a year ago. Yeah, Jenny and I come up the very I don't know, we come up like 2 days after the sighting, dropped off our camp trailer at the sighting place, took a look around for evidence, and then we come back 2 days later after leaving our camper up here, and we camped like 4 days up here looking for that Bigfoot that they saw. I think it was, what was it, the second night we camped there, or was it the first night that the coyotes were howling around us?
I don't remember.
You don't remember them howling around us, or don't remember the night?
I don't remember the exact night.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first 2 nights. Yeah, they were howling and active really close to us. Like in the same grove of trees.
There's always a lot of deer right here in this valley in the night. We've even seen elk here.
Yeah, we've seen a herd of elk up here.
Just around this next bend is where we saw them all run up the hill.
You guys ever notice a road crossing Bigfoot that we don't see? Please let us know. Never know, we could be looking total different direction for whatever reason. Hope to shout that we see one cross if a viewer can see it though. Yeah, in real life, opposed to the camera, sometimes things look 10 times further away in the camera than you see them in the real world. So a lot of times when someone's telling me, yeah, there's Bigfoot right in front of you and stuff, I'm like, well, how did I miss it in real life? But I don't know, we've seen some things in the background of some of our videos that were like, huh. So your eyes can't be all directions at one time, and the camera never blinks.
There's a deer right there.
Yep. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Up on the hill to your left.
To your right.
Oh, yep. Left, right, left.
Yeah, but it's up, right up there.
She's big.
It's a doe. Big doe.
Oh, pretty.
Bright. See, the sun's about ready to go down and we still have to hike. We got 3 cameras. We're putting new batteries and new SD cards in, and then I'll include at the end of this video anything we might have caught on those cameras. Even if it isn't Bigfoot, it's always interesting what kind of animals are living in a place that dozens of people are claiming to see Bigfoot.
Right off to your left, we saw a wolf.
Yep. The clearing we just crossed on the left before we hit these trees was a wolf. Yeah, we observed the wolf for about a minute and a half. It paced back and forth in front of us for a while, so it wasn't just a fleeting glimpse.
Oh no.
We got to study it for quite a while in the headlights of the car.
It was not afraid.
Yep. Jenny, oh, excuse me.
No, it actually walked straight up to our car. Until, well, not all the way up to our car. It walked towards our car until you yelled at it.
I didn't yell at it. I was yelling at you to get in the car.
Yeah, I had got it.
Jenny was out of the car.
For a minute, yeah.
So I was yelling at her to get in the car. There's a wolf.
Get back in the car.
And then when it heard my voice, it quit. It was actually jogging towards the car. Yeah, you didn't see that.
No, I did not.
It was jogging very aggressively towards our car, not at a walk, but like at a trot. And when I yelled out, because I'm like, oh my God, Jenny's out there. I yelled at you to get in the car, and it immediately stopped and started pacing back and forth. And then when you got in the car, we got to sit and watch it pace back and forth for like a minute and a half before it decided it needed to leave.
It skirted the whole tree line and then ran into the trees on the other side of the clearing. So we watched it for quite a long time.
Well, yeah, we were taking pictures of it with I don't know, they were pretty nice cameras for being, you know, pocket, what I like to call a pocket camera. If you can fit a a camera in your pocket. I considered it a pocket camera, so that's what we had with us at the time. And we were taking photos, and it's in the headlights, and none of the pictures turned out, which, you know, I was upset about not getting the wolf, but also what upset me is I knew that if that was a Bigfoot, we wouldn't have captured it. So since then, that was what, in 2012, we went and got better cameras, got spotlights, and still no guarantee. The camera that you're watching through right now has IR. It's automatic. The camera detects when it needs to turn the IR on, and so this camera will also give us, if that was a Bigfoot or the wolf, hopefully the camera will get it.
We caught a couple of deers with this camera in the dark on the side of the road. So
up in Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, it should work, because it worked then.
Yeah, we were in Oregon last week looking for Bigfoot. Now we're in Utah. We've been in a lot of places this year looking for Bigfoot. We've been to Arizona, the Mogollon Rim. That was cool. We've been to Sasquatch Canyon once.
Well, we've been a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's just the...
Oh, that's right. We went in there at night with some friends and hiked back and serviced a camera.
We've just been able to get back in there. There was so much snow.
Yeah. You guys watched the last night video that we did in Sasquatch Canyon. We got stalked by a mountain lion back in there at night. Really freaked out the 3 guys that were with us.
And me. I didn't like it too much.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky. We've seen 2 mountain lions this year. A daytime sighting where it crossed the road in front of us in
Idaho.
Yeah, out there by Montpelier. It crossed the road in front of us. We captured that. We had a camera going at the time. And then in Sasquatch Canyon, that one stalking us at night, we all got to see it. Now, there was 3 different points of it stalking us that I was able to put my spotlight on it and observe it before it finally had enough and left us alone. But each time we were able to spotlight it, it got closer to us. So that was kind of what was unnerving everybody. It's like, it's not going away, it keeps getting closer.
Yeah.
And there's 5 of us.
It was not scared of us, that's for sure.
I know, usually it's just me and Jenny back there hiking alone. I was so happy that we had
I know.
more people, men.
Yeah, big
3
men.
more men.
Because if it would have just been us, we might have been in trouble.
Gosh, it's beautiful up here.
Mm-hmm. Still all nice and green.
I hate mosquitoes. Did you ever hear that old wives' tale that if a mosquito can't pull its needle out, it'll explode?
No.
Oh, well, we all believed it when we were kids, and to keep them from being able to pull out. You pinch your skin, and anyway, it doesn't work. All dead batteries. Tizzy that helped. Well, would have been 100 times worse without sleeves and shorts and sandals.
Yep.
How I normally do it. Shoot up my face. They get you in the face too?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And when I'm standing there and I'm holding stuff, I can't.
Yeah.
I just have to stand there.
Well, every camera got turned on, got exchanged. All the cards are accounted for. I counted 3 in the open bag. This is pretty much a spring right here.
Yeah, it's here all day, all year.
Yeah, it's just, I consider it a spring. Weird, the geological forces that come together to produce springs on a mountain top where the mountain forces water up. That's pretty neat. Off to the right here, this is where our friend, his name's Austin, him and his dad had their Bigfoot sighting. There's like a ditch over there. It's actually a dry creek bed, but they saw a bear in it. You know, a bear on 4 legs in it. So, and they were up here deer hunting. So they stopped and started observing it and, you know, thinking, hey, a bear. Well, pretty soon it got uncomfortable and stood up, started walking on 2 legs, and walked up at a quick pace, walked up to the top of the hill and disappeared into the trees. He estimates they observed it for close to 2 minutes. So, but it obviously was trying to avoid detection. It was in the dry creek, keeping a low profile, crawling slowly. And then when it realized it had been spotted, because they stopped and were staring at it, it pretty soon stand up and took off. So that Bigfoot sighting happened about 6 years ago. And 2 guys observed it during the daytime. And Austin brought us out here and showed us exactly where it happened. So that's his sighting. His sighting location. What I liked the most about Austin's Bigfoot sighting is we had only started our organization and had it going for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and we hadn't really told anybody, you know, close to us what we're doing yet. And of course, we always try to make sure the subject comes up when you go camping and whatnot. Well, we camped about 10 miles from this spot, and we were camping with Austin and his girlfriend at the time. Brought up Bigfoot, and that's when he told us that, you know, I saw Bigfoot. He didn't even know that we were, you know, Jenny and I were Bigfoot hunters. And it's like, oh yeah, and blah blah blah, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah, and we got him talking about it. He told us all about it, and then he's like, I'll even take you where it happened. And I'm like, really? And you know, and I'm thinking, oh, and in the near distant future, and he's like, oh, it happened close to where we're camping now, so I'll take you tomorrow. So very next day he took us right up to where it happened. And here's the really weird thing is there had already been 3 documented where the people had reported it, Bigfoot sightings, right where he had his Bigfoot sighting. So I'm like, wow, you know, him out of the blue telling us about his Bigfoot sighting, and then he takes us to a place that I already knew there were sightings. I'd already been watching the place, you know, watching the area. So, and we bring you guys back into the area all the time. You know, lightning has struck 4 times there. Why not 5? Why not for us? Ooh, something's really got my allergies going up here. Something's blooming up here. This is the time of the day that the animals really get moving. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was in the frame of the camera, but we saw a deer earlier that we pointed out, so hopefully we get lucky and see other animals. Maybe we'll get lucky and get other animals crossing. This is also the time of day that a lot of Bigfoot sightings take place, so it's one of the things I love about dusk. Amazing how fast things change. 2 weeks ago, couldn't get vehicles in here. Now we've seen several people back in here camping. I need to figure out who the guy is that lets everybody know that it opens up, because I come up here several times every year before I'm actually able to get in. It'd be nice to get that phone call and say, yep, today's the day. Because it seems like all these people get the message at the same time. I'm somehow out of this loop.
It usually is the first week of July.
Yeah, it is.
eventually. And there's still snow out there.
Well, there was one year where we weren't able to get in here until the second week of July.
Yeah.
The middle of July, so.
There's places in the Uintas that we go that we still can't get into right now.
Yep.
Not until August.
Yellowstone Canyon, where we like to go back in there. Bigfooting. It takes about the middle of July for the snow to melt back. That's all above 10,000 feet back in there. It's close to King's Peak, which goes up over 12,000 feet in elevation. Spring comes last, and winter comes first. Out of all the places.
Actually snowed on us the second week of August one time.
Yes, it did. I thought it was raining. Got out of the tent and it was snow.
Surprise!
That really hard snow. It wasn't hail, but it was hitting the tent in such a way it sounded like rain. Plus the time of year, you're thinking, oh, rain. Yeah, the middle of August. Now we can just find the big hairy guy that eats them. to chainsaw trees before people could get all the way back here. Across the road.
Did you ever see on the footage that we had where that creepy little thing crosses the road in front of us that we first thought was a cat and then had that weird head on it?
Oh. When we were on our way to Oregon? Yeah, I haven't reviewed that yet. I forgot all about it till you said something. I did download the footage. I just haven't reviewed it yet. No, I haven't.
That was weird.
Yeah, it had like a cat-like body and almost a dog-like head. We're hoping this camera got it.
There's a deer right in front of us on the road.
Yep. It's not in a big hurry.
No, it sure isn't. The sunset's just beautiful.
Middle of summer or the beginning of summer, and the sun doesn't quite go all the way down till after 9:30 or so. Some people are camping in a spot where for a couple of years in a row, every time we camped there, we would hear wood knocks off into the forest.
Yep.
We hiked back in there and could never figure out the source of the wood knocks. I mean, loud baseball-like knocks. Bam! That was usually only like one knock in response to something we were doing, like you close a car door, or chop a piece of wood, or hit the spike of a tent, setting up the tent. It would, you know, you'd go clink, stand up, and knock. You're like, what the heck? So it was like eerie, the timing of when these knocks would happen. But Jenny and I hiked our butts back there, our butts off back there. We've taken Brody back there. We've taken Mike, and we've just never found the source of those knocks. Then all of a sudden, after a couple of years of camping back there, they stopped, and I haven't heard them knocking back there since. So whatever was doing it has moved on, and maybe one day it'll come back. I don't know.
I did find a weird thing back up in there, though, which is the creepiest thing. Something had been using a tree branch as toilet paper.
Yeah, like a fir tree pine needle branch, like so soft needles, wiping it across its butt, you know. I mean, because there was poop all over it, like something was actually wiping it. Now, I don't know. Does a moose come up and wipe its butt on a branch?
That was the only thing tall enough it could have been.
I know. The branch was like 5-6 feet off the ground, and that was weird.
It was like 4 feet.
We found that the very first time we hiked back in there because of the knocks.
It's a weird thing to find.
that camp where we hear the knocks is actually the closest camping spot to the most recent Bigfoot sighting report submitted to us. It's not the most recent sighting, just the most recent one that we now know about. That camp spot's pretty close to it. Yeah, there's been 3 Bigfoot road crossing, that's what I'm going to call them, up in this area. 2 of them cars and 1 of them a 4-wheeler. A guy and his kid on a 4-wheeler, and the Bigfoot actually paced them for a while, running alongside them.
Oh yeah, that's just...
I mean, it wasn't on the road, it was actually out in the crazy stuff, pacing them before it took off. Yeah, the guy was driving along and his kid started smacking him and pointing, and then his kid got his attention on the Bigfoot, and he saw the Bigfoot pacing him, and his instinct was to go faster, to outrun it. And he estimates the Bigfoot at one point in time was easily keeping up with them at over 30 miles an hour before it turned off into the woods and disappeared. That's an eerie sighting. Gosh, at this point in our hunt for Bigfoot, if we have a sighting and don't get it on camera, are we comfortable talking about that? I mean, we're supposedly the pros. I mean, Jenny and I probably have 8 cameras in the vehicle right now, 1 going, so man, that'd be pretty rough Bigfoot sighting to give. Yeah, that's what we're out doing. We have all these cameras, and no, we didn't get it. But doing what we do, even with having the cameras, it's hard to catch a moving animal. I mean, a lot of them get away from us. I mean, we just pointed this camera that's going at a couple of animals. I mean, did you see them? Hopefully you did. If you didn't, I mean, I swear there was animals there, so
I don't care if anybody believes me or not. I'll say I saw it. Except I haven't seen it, which is sad.
Yeah, I would have to be honest and admit that I saw one clearly enough to make that claim. You know, I've been in situations where I think I've had Bigfoot activity going on while I've been camping and Bigfooting, and I haven't saw it clearly enough to say, yep, I saw Bigfoot. But I've heard what I thought was them vocalizing, stomping around, found their footprints, and you know, and all the evidence points towards, hey, that was Bigfoot doing all that, but I didn't see it. So we would love to get that on camera one day. And we're driving past a Bigfoot sighting location right now. This was the last one submitted to us. The most recent one submitted to us. Yeah. Out of the last 10 days, there's only been 3 days that we haven't been searching for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And those were long, crappy days at work.
Yeah. Well, we had to do all day long today as well.
Yep. That looks fun. Any kind of camping looks fun. Jenny and I were setting up camp up here on the right one year, getting stuff out, getting ready to set up, and some people showed up right next to us, freaking setting up their campers and stuff. A bunch of them jumped on four-wheelers, come roaring past our camp, and we're like, okay, this isn't gonna work. So we got all of our stuff up and went and found a more remote, away from some campers. That's how we like it.
Yeah, who does that? Let's pull up. We have a whole mountain, but let's pull up next to these people and plop down right now. That's just weird to me. But they did it.
Yeah, I like to space out, but space campsites out, and then of course, you know, as it gets less and less camp areas available, I can see people crowding in, you know, like a holiday weekend or something. But there wasn't anybody on the mountain but us and them, and they come and camp right next to us. That was funny.
It's weird.
Uh-huh.
It must have been their favorite spot, and they just like, okay, let's just camp right here. They'll leave.
Well,
if we're
they did get us
enough.
to leave because they come roaring past our campsite off road. They weren't on the road. They come right by where our tents and stuff were, and it's like, what? So yeah,
that's what I said.
they got us to leave.
If they're not, if they're
obnoxious enough. That kind of stuff doesn't happen very often, though. People are usually pretty good about giving each other distance. I don't know, I go up to camp to kind of get away from civilization. I've always been an avid camper all my life. Even before I was really serious about Bigfooting. Bigfooting's got me to camp a lot more than I ever thought I would, though. Yeah, so far the month of July, I think Jenny and I have slept more away from home than at home because of Bigfooting. It's a good camp spot right there that everybody's been passing up. More snow up ahead. We are almost out of here. We're we're another couple miles away from hitting pavement. We're gonna wrap up this Bigfoot roundtable drive, dirt road roundtable drive. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We do these in case we get a road crossing. We'll continue to film after this ends, and we'll only include that at the end of this if something interesting happens. So watch this all the way to the end. Keep on watching. We're gonna keep on squatching.